Welcome back, everyone, to the Infinity Travel AZ Studios. We have Richard Bravo back with us again from AmaWaterways. How are you doing today, Richard?
I'm doing great, Cindy. Happy to be back. Thank you.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
That's right. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, we're hoping that 2021 is going to be okay. So,
We're being optimistic.
yep.
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. So today, Richard is going to talk to us about AmaWaterways celebration of wine cruises, and
Mhm.
I'm very excited to hear about that. So go ahead and get started, Richard.
Got it. I'm going to share my screen right now. Hopefully this comes up pretty soon. Get this in full presentation mode. So there is a lot to cover on this topic. I think it's one of the most fun to talk about. I think whether you enjoy wine or don't particularly, find yourself to be some of that loves it. We get a lot of people on board these particular cruises that just from the overall experience that we've curated, want to be a part of that. We've got it on a number of different itineraries that you can see right here off to the right. You can see the map here. We do offer these, of course, in Europe. That's really where we offer them. We do have some other more exotic destinations, but we don't have the celebration of wine theme with those ones. What makes these really special, though, is that we take a normal AmaWaterways sailing with all the normal shore tours and the same experience that you would get on really any departure. And we add these additional benefits to it where we send along a North American wine host who really knows your taste buds and is really able to speak to the differences between the old world wines and those new world wines, and just really kind of bringing everything together for you. But it's an opportunity to really celebrate wine, sort of toasting our way, if you will, through these vineyards with time honored traditions. There's opportunities to visit, 16th, 17th century wine estates and vineyards, meet with the owners who have owned this for generations, do wine tastings directly with them, pairing it with different things from the area, different cheeses or olives and breads, and just really bringing it to life. So I just want to touch upon a few of those things, as I mentioned. I will just mention briefly, and I'll keep this super brief. AmaWaterways, if you're wondering, why would I select AmaWaterways? It's an amazing company. Honestly, I've been in the travel industry now for 27 years. I can tell you, and I say this as sincerely as I can share this, that this is one of the absolute best companies in the travel industry, family owned and operated. They do their very best to deliver an experience that is unique. This is not a company that was putting together a product just to be another river cruise experience, but they really wanted to add some elements that they themselves would want to enjoy and bring their family on time and time again. I really think they've curated that. It's really a reason why we've won more awards than any of the river cruise line in the industry. So I think that really speaks to a number of things from just the overall onboard experience to the ships, the design, even of the staterooms, the food, of course, on board, those wines that we serve, premium wines and drinks, and we bring all those regional cuisines on board the ship so you can experience it on and off the ship as well too. And lots I could share on that, but I really, again, want to bring myself back to focusing on the celebration of wine cruises and just include a few different pictures and just talk to a few different things. So if you enjoy wine even just a little bit, this is the place where you're going to want to join us, because again, we have all those other elements, but you have that professional host with you who's going to be telling you the difference between those Moselle Rieslings and those Alsatian Rieslings, and doing pairings with some old world wines that were really put together to be paired properly with food. And it's a little bit different here in North America. Certainly we do some wonderful pairings with cuisine as well, but that was really a key part to making a lot of the wines in Europe. So we get to have conversation around those different things. So there's going to be 3 different discussions on one of our typical 7-night cruises, where your wine host is going to be going through those different pairings. He's also going to bring along some of his own wines, and we've got North American wine hosts, winemakers from across North America, from Napa Valley to other parts of the country to Paso Robles area. In fact, Bogle, which I know is a popular wine name, we actually have a departure with them coming up next year. So if you're interested in that, look online, check with Cindy. She can direct you to all the different ones. In fact, I know Cindy is thinking of maybe putting together something special around one of these departures also. So please reach out to her.
That's right.
But again, just some beautiful pictures I want to share on what those different traditions are. So from those white wines to those red wines, whether you're in Bordeaux or over in France on the Rhine, on the Danube, or those port wines, even if you're going to be experiencing Portugal and spending some time in Spain, we've got those examples for you as well. But all these, again, are in addition to those sites that you're going to be seeing along the way, those beautiful cities that you're going to be passing along on the river, those castles that you're going to be witnessing as well. Some beautiful cheeses that you'll be able to sample also. I love this slide right here because it just gives you sort of a really kind of quick look into all the different areas that you're going to be traveling through and all the different varietals in these different areas, right? So if we look at Bordeaux, just as an example, top in the center, from Cognac to Bourgogne to Andre de Mario and all these other ones here too. If we look down to the Rhine, the Main, and the Moselle, a number of other different varietals that you get to experience also. So again, being educated along the way with each of these different experiences and different rivers. And then just to share a few different samples, if you're wondering, okay, what's on the Rhine specifically, a few that I would highlight for you is the Rudolstein wine tasting. This is where we start off at the 17th century vineyard. We start off at the lower level. We do a wine tasting there with the wine owner. We hike up a little bit higher in that vineyard for a new outlook on the area that we're visiting to, looking over the river, where we do another wine tasting. All the while, you're having these different conversations as you make your way to the ultimate view, looking over the Rhine River down below in Rudolstein. Alsatian wine tasting in Strasbourg. Strasbourg is really just an amazing town. I always like to say, I don't think there's a bad picture anybody could take in Strasbourg. It's so beautiful, these beautiful canals. But one thing that a lot of people don't realize, and not just for Strasbourg, but some other places in Europe as well, is that a lot of the hospitals, the hospices actually have wine cellars that you can still go and do a wine tasting at. They recognize, they believe, that there was a certain health benefit with wine. Not overdone, of course, but you can actually go there, do a wine tasting, purchase some wine. You can bring it back to the ship. We do allow you to bring drinks back on board the ship, share some of those experiences with the other guests. Those type of things are really popular. Take it back to your stateroom, enjoy it on your balcony, or just pack it up safely and bring it back home. But those are a few things that I would highlight there. In France, of course, there's Colors of Provence. This travels from Lyon, making its way down to Arles, a number of amazing stops along the way. One of the ones that I would call out here is in Tournon, where there is actually an opportunity to go in. We actually take our guests to this amazing castle. Once you get into this castle, there is a wine master, wine sommelier, along with a master chocolatier who's actually pairing the chocolates with these wonderful red wines there as well. Also in this area, there's an opportunity, just as a side note, to go on a truffle hunt. We actually go out and get to see the labs, whatever dogs they may be using for this, to go out and do hunt for the truffle. Then you get to do a truffle tasting, of course. A little side note for those of you that may not know, they used to actually hunt for truffles with pigs, and I think they used like hogs, but they found that they would not give them up as easily. So then they started using dogs because they could actually retrieve the truffles much easier. So. And then just to touch upon a few other ones, I did mention Douro also. If you know your wines, you know that the port wines are quite different from the other wines in Europe. We'll get to experience a number of those different opportunities here as well, visiting some different quintas, taking on a number of different tours. I should mention also, at every port of call with AmaWaterways, you can have an opportunity to take in at least 4, 5, maybe 6 different shore tour choices, right? So there's a choice of these different options that you get to select from. So, you're not going to be going out in large groups. We're not going to say, here's your complimentary city tour, and you have like 70 people kind of trying to huddle around the director. The other thing that we do, aside from offering these choices of short tours with smaller groups, is that everyone is outfitted with something called a quiet box. And that's something you wear around your neck. It charges in your room each evening. You can use your own earbuds to listen to your director. You can easily be 40, 50 feet away, not huddled around him. So you're still listening to everything that's being shared, safely distancing and taking some pictures off in another area. So just something that I wanted to point out in terms of what that experience is like with us. Gems of Southeast Europe. If you want to experience the little bit more of exotic Europe, if you will, the difference between Budapest and the upper Danube, making your way up to a town called Vilshofen, is going to be quite different from discovering further south. They're going to be going into some of the areas that were under Iron Curtain, Serbia, Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria, and really experiencing things as they are now and kind of how they've progressed, in really that short time since the Iron Curtain fell. A lot of different traditions there. We're going to, experience a number of different, even like religious, religions that would go through that area. And the other part that I would mention is, in addition to visiting 4, maybe 5 different countries on these river cruises, there's always an opportunity for a pre or post option. The benefit with that is that our cruise manager will join you before and afterwards. What's nice with that, of course, is that they're there to kind of hold your hand, point you in the right direction, lead you in some different tours, but really kind of build that rapport before you've even stepped on board the ship. But it's really wonderful to have them on board. They're experts. They know the area quite well. So even just in looking at this particular itinerary, Budapest would be an option for a pre-post. Vienna would be an option on some departures as well. And then you can even extend it over into Istanbul. You can go up into Transylvania. So some wonderful things to consider there as well. Magna on the Danube. This now covers the upper Danube that I was just mentioning right now between Vilshofen and Budapest. A pre or post option here would be Prague in the Czech Republic for 3 nights, or Budapest on the other end. But the Magna itself, the Ama Magna, is one of our newest ships that actually debuted in May of 2019. This is the largest river cruise vessel on the waters today. Because it's so large, it does operate exclusively on the Danube. That's a much larger river, larger locks that the ship can get through. But it is on average twice the ship of a regular river cruise ship. But we didn't just cram it with more staterooms. The goal was to create more amenities, features on board. We've got 4 restaurants on board compared to 2 restaurants that you would find on all of our other vessels and on most other river cruise ships. We've got a cinema room. We've got 2 separate sitting library lounge areas. It's got a much larger gym. In fact, we have a gym on board all of our vessels. We've got some sort of water feature on board all of our vessels, but the Ama Magna has not only a pool, but a jacuzzi as well. There's an elevator that goes all the way up to the sun deck. Most river cruise ships will only go up to the level right before the sun deck. Then you take the stairs up to the very top deck. This goes all the way up to the top deck too. So a number of wonderful features on board, much larger staterooms. So the other part I would mention is that if you've done ocean cruising, this would be the ship that you really want to consider as an introduction to river cruising as well. So those are just kind of a few that I wanted to highlight, but new for 2021 will be Essence of Burgundy and Provence, right? So I talked about Colors of Provence that goes from Lyon down to Arles. This would actually begin further north up in Chalon-sur-Saône, making its way all the way down to Arles with a pre-extension or pre-trip in Geneva for 3 nights and a post option in Barcelona for 3 nights. We also have Impressions of the Seine in Paris, which offers pre and post options in Paris, as well as an additional stop over into St. Malo for additional 3 nights there if you wanted to do that also. So lots of choices, lots of options. I'll just flash through these photos really quick. Some of our most popular staterooms on board are the twin balcony staterooms, where you get the benefit of a French balcony, as well as a full step-out balcony. And I want you to think of the time of year that you might be traveling. So if you're traveling in those off-season months, maybe November as an example, it could certainly be a bit cooler. So you have that nice French balcony, the nice sitting area, set that room temperature at what feels comfortable for you. But those windows are pressed all up against the railing. So from within inside that sitting area, you're going to get amazing views looking outside. If you're traveling at another time of year where you want to spend some time outdoors, you have that full step-out balcony too, all from the access of your own stateroom. We've got computers in all of our staterooms as well. You can leave your laptop at home, still stay connected. Beautiful lounges on board every one of our vessels. And this is kind of the main gathering place of this ship, where everyone comes to share their experiences of their short tours a day, things they've went out to explore, and just meet some other guests. But you also get amazing views. This is where we're going to bring in some evening entertainment. Maybe it's some local musicians. If you're in Vienna, for example, it may be some classical musicians. If you're in Spitz, Germany, as an example, maybe some folklore dancers. The cruise manager may be giving some discussions on the evening on the next day's ports of call and what their shore tours are going to be. This is a look at one of our alternative dining restaurants. So in addition to the main restaurant, this is the chef's table restaurant. This restaurant you need to make reservations for, but it's much more intimate, holds a maximum of 26 guests. Amazing 6-course meal, 3 to 4 different wine pairings. You get to watch the chef and his team preparing those meals, plating the foods as they're bringing it out. And I can tell you, hands down, this is most guests' favorite experience on board the ship. So you want to take advantage of that. And then the shore tours that I mentioned. The last thing to share with this is that with those different options, we put it up into what we call a or regular and active. The gentle would be for someone like my elderly parents who still want to get out and see things, but maybe at a little bit slower pace. The regular would pick up that pace just a little bit, and a little bit more. And the active would be something like a guided cycling tour or guided hiking tour, which in addition to those guided cycling tours, you can still reserve the bicycles if you just want to head out in town on your own. So those are some of the main things. The very last note that I'll end this with is that a lot of people didn't realize we had a ship sailing last year for a total of 4 months. This is actually chartered by a German company. But why am I sharing this with you? If it was chartered by a German company, Americans couldn't go on this. And it's because we were the only North American river cruise line actually on the waters and being able to put those things that we've been planning into official practice. And the response was amazing. Thank God there were no incidences of COVID reported on any of our departures. In fact, a number of people booked a second or even a third sailing. We're doing 2 separate sailings, round trip from Cologne, Germany, doing 2 different itineraries. And we also, just to be adaptable, put some things in place that we were not previously doing. So in addition to putting up the glass in some of the lounge areas, over sanitizing everything and cleaning around the clock, we also put together a special in-room dining menu so that you could dine on your balcony or have an in-room movie night. We offered private transfers, so guests could be picked up. If it was a couple, we'd offer a private sedan or a minivan if it were family. And again, just making sure that we were protecting the experience guests to come to love with AmaWaterways and doing it in as safe a way as possible for our guests and certainly all the crew. So again, I could spend a lot more time talking about some things, but I will end right there. Hopefully that was just enough to get everybody enticed a bit. And I don't know if you may have any questions that you want to ask me as well.
One of the questions I wanted to ask on that new 2021, I believe it was Essence of Provence.
Burgundy and Provence, right?
Okay, and Burgundy and Provence, correct. Is that still a 7-day cruise and then add-ons on the front and the back end?
That's correct, right. So it's a 7-night cruise, and then you have the option of adding a pre and or a post package. So in that case, it would be between Geneva and Barcelona.
Oh, okay. And the
That's
same as the other one, I assume.
Correct, correct. And the other part I will mention, you may be aware of this, Cindy, and I'll have to, it's on specific departures, not the one that you just mentioned. I want to be really clear about that, right? So just disclaiming it's on specific itineraries and departures, but we do have a complimentary land promotion right now that's offered on several different itineraries. I can send the details to you for anybody that's interested, along with all the different dates. But this is a huge value. This could be a value anywhere between $1,500 up to about $3,000 on these packages to add on that land component. So definitely something to take advantage of. In addition to a number of offers, I don't think I've seen this many offers that we've put out at the same time in the marketplace. So lots to choose from to make sure you're getting the best one for your clients.
Awesome. Yeah, send all that to me. I may have most of it anyway, but if you can resend it, you can never have too much information, for sure.
That's right.
That's so what would you recommend as your favorite celebration of wine cruise in France?
Well, I haven't personally done any of our French waterways, really. I can just tell you, though, just what I know of the waters, having experienced some of the different things, and having been to France, actually, covering a lot of France, I would say probably our new one that we're introducing, Essence of Burgundy and Provence, going between the Rhone all the way down to the Saône. If you looked at that itinerary, there's a lot of different stops along the way, a lot of different options to include, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, all these rivers offer something that you're not going to see in one of the other destinations. Right. But maybe this one's a little bit near and dear to my heart too, because my wife and I did spend our honeymoon throughout that area between Burgundy and Provence as well too. So it's just beautiful. So that'd be my personal recommendation. Yeah.
Okay, because as you know, another travel advisor and myself are trying to put together a cruise on your wine celebration, and we've been looking at Bordeaux, but I saw that itinerary and I thought, that looks good too. So I guess it'll end up depending on what's available the time of year that we want to go.
Sure. And we've got a number of options for 2021. I want to say we probably got well over 60 or close to. In 2022, we're probably going to have at least that many, if not more. So there's a lot of options. Maybe put out a couple of options and see what, how each of them turn out for you.
Yeah. Well, we're looking for 2022, just
Okay.
to give everybody some time to
Sure.
get back comfortable with traveling, because I think late 2021 is going to be okay, but it's not going to be as good as 22. I mean, I could be wrong, and God, I hope I am wrong in a way, but you know.
Right. Totally understand. So yeah, lots of options. So I will send you the special offers. Any questions you get, you'll have
Okay.
all the information at your fingertips too. But again, I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk about another, not just what AmaWaterways is about, but these special themes too. We've got Christmas markets, we've got our tulip time itineraries, so lots and lots of choices for our guests.
And every one of them on my bucket list.
Love it. Yeah.
I have a bucket list going on. I've got a huge one now. So I don't think I have any more questions. You did a great job, as you always do.
Thank you.
We're going to have Richard back again in February, and we're going to talk about the Nile in Egypt, correct?
That's right. Correct. Yes.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're hoping everybody will tune in for that. Anything else you want to share, Richard?
No, I would just to echo what you just mentioned right now about Egypt and the Nile. This is a product that we released April of last year, but it's not going to be starting sailing until September of this year. I could tell you it is hands down the most requested product right now. We're easily 80+% sold out from September to the balance of this year, well into next year already. It's an amazing 7-night cruise round trip from Luxor. And I'll stop there to say some things for the actual presentation in a few weeks, but that's one I think you won't want to miss.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds awesome. All right, then I will say have a wonderful day, and thank you again for joining me. I enjoy all of this because I love AmaWaterways so much. So I look forward to our February conversation.
Love it. Thank you so much, Sandy. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Take care. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.